that's difficult, but the good thing of all is that they got their self-confidence back, which is something that they didn't have last year or even 2 years ago, when the Messi issue trying to get to Man City. After last season, I think they learned about so many fails that Barca had as a club, that now they are trying to say, okay, we're going to make this even better. We're going to try to be, as Barcelona used to be when Guardiola was at the bench, or Tito. And now I think they believe in themselves. And I think they managed, during all the summer transfer window, to say, okay, this is something that in May or in April, we couldn't imagine. And now we are back there. We're trying to get, and we're signing good players like Koundé, like Rafinha. I mean,
against all odds.
Yeah, you stole Rafinha from Chelsea, which is something that we couldn't imagine back in April.
Yeah, you still Koundé from Chelsea. Imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, imagine good
managed
things,
to hold on to Frankie de Jong, even though, of course, Man United were willing to pay an okay amount to him. It's amazing.
But once you did it, I mean, you have to prove now that all the efforts that the sporting direction or the board of Football Club Barcelona made, now you have to prove that all those efforts are going to be valid and positive for the team. And now, remember when we made the first podcast of this season, when I told you, Alexis, like, okay, Barca needs to win, because if they doesn't win after first game draw against Rayo Vallecano, there are going to be some rumors, some rum, as we say here in Spain, around Xavi, like maybe they've prepared the team, but maybe Xavi's not prepared. He's not ready for that level. So that's why
he's quite young in his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's another debut guy for Barcelona's bench, because now he has time to say, okay, I have to grow a little bit more by, right after who were coaching last season. I think Xavi would be at that level and even higher. And he's proved that he has improved the team, which is something good for Barca. And I think that if he manages by the end of the season to grow with the team, he would be an amazing coach for Barca.
Definitely. And I mean, two things about Barca that have recently impressed, of course, is the defense, and then the youth players that have come up from La Masia, which we will always trust. We'll get to the youth players in a bit, but that defense, which literally had been, such an Achilles heel for them. Now, I know we talk about Lewandowski and all his goals, and let's be honest, if we talk about Barcelona and their style of football, it's all about the attack that we've fallen in love with over the last couple of years. But defensively, they're onto something special, aren't they?
True. I mean, you got players that you didn't have last season. And even, you talk about Koundé, you talk about Christensen, those are Barca-style players and Barca-style defenders, which is something great that Barca needed. But apart from that, you got Eddie Garcia. The beginning of this season for Eddie Garcia, when he was swallowing all this criticism from last season, and now watching him, at his best, like saying, I'm here and I'm going to be here for the next 10 years. Yeah. And this is something which for me are positive news for Barca, for Xavi, and even for Eric, because this is going to make the defensive line of Barca even better, and they're going to compete against themselves, which I think is going to higher even the level that they have back there.
Yeah, and then for everyone that doesn't know, obviously I live in the UK, and every time I come back from a La Liga weekend where I've done Barcelona, the number one question so many people ask me when they say, which match did you do? And I say, oh, Barcelona. People here always go, God, how good is that young boy Pedri? And I say, oh my days, don't get me started. Everyone here, at least in the UK, I mean, a lot of clubs will be keeping, their eyes on him for sure. But we know that Pedri, in his heart, is Barcelona through and through. But he, as well as Gavi, how impressive as a duo have they been? Are they giving you flashbacks of, the man himself, Xavi Iniesta?
Pedri is 19 years old. This is the good thing of all. I mean, and if you compare Pedri to Xavi or Iniesta,
but he seems so mature.
They, at that age, And now he's starting
Yeah.
11, and no one will keep him off the starting 11 forever in Barca. I mean, only he will be the one to say, I'm going to be out of this because maybe my performances are not good as they used to be, whatever. But it will be only his fault because he has everything to succeed at Barca. I mean, he has the mind, the view of the games that no one has. I mean, and the good thing of all is that he's improving his physical, because this is something that all the people say like, no, he's very tiny, or he's very thin for this European football. But no, he's improved a lot since last year, and this is something good because
this is growing. Come on,
yeah,
still so young.
19 years old. This is something crazy.
We were barely finishing our homework at his age.
Just like Camavinga, Tchouaméni, they are so young, but they have so bright future for Barca, Real Madrid. You know that this is something great for La Liga.
Camavinga, I know we're obviously throwing it back to Real Madrid quickly in a Barca segment. That's probably sacrilegious, but Camavinga is one that still surprises me to think that he's still a teenager until November. And this man has just come in and scores on debut, wins the title, and then wins the Champions League. So much experience. He plays like an experienced player, which is how Pedri plays. You know, Pedri, I think, had to be thrown into the deep end, of course, with all the issues that Barcelona were suffering. They had to rely on the youngsters more often than not. I think that that's what Xavi has done perfectly, has given them just the right amount of responsibility. We talk about man management so much, and I think Xavi, you know, given the fact that he's quite younger and he is so big a part of the DNA at Barcelona, I think he has managed those youngsters coming up from La Masia so perfectly as well. And Pedri is just, oh my days.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.